we're going to dive in. Thank you all for being here for our December PA meeting. I'm running the show today. I'm going to try to fill like one of Alan's shoes. So if I miss anything, if I leave anything out, please let me know. So we're going to start off. We have some people who have special things to talk about that are limited on time. So we're going to dive in with those folks. But I just want to say before we dive in on our agenda, if this is your first time being here, thanks for coming. Use the chat as much as you want, or just unmute yourself and pop in. We are informal in this meeting. So if you have any questions, just feel free to unmute and participate. You can use the chat as well publicly, or Alan is also available if there's something you want to send privately. I hope that's okay, Alan. I'm volunteering you for all the private messages. So we'll work through our agenda and just participate as much as you want as we are moving throughout. And then Alan will also drop links of things that we're referencing throughout as well, so that people can hop over and take care of business as we go. So with that said, we have Paul here to talk about some updates related to the construction project. Holy cow. We watched a roof be torn off a house on our way to school this morning. So the construction project, which is in full force, and then also accreditation. So Paul, do you want to go ahead and head us off with those?
Yeah. Thanks, Sarah and Alan. And thank you, parent association reps, and also parents who are just joining us today. First off, as you know, the construction project is underway, and we messaged out on Tuesday a lengthy letter with some highlights of what we've been tracking over the course of 2+ years, and now coming to reality here on our corner. The big takeaway, I think, for you as parents, and the word that we'd like to get out to families, is it is an active work zone there, and please don't use that sidewalk. And as you're entering campus from Greenwood, to stay on the south side of 79th Street, the sidewalk, and take it all the way up to the crosswalk where we have our student crossing guards. That's really the safest route into school. We had a lot of kids yesterday ignoring sidewalk closed signs and pretty much walking straight through the work zone and trying to load into vehicles there on the corner. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of patience, and it's not going to be quick. This is looking to be a 17+ month project. So be thinking about ways that you can get to school differently. And we'd still love to see somebody take on a walking school bus and perhaps utilize the Safe Street in a way that we haven't done yet to get families and kids onto campus. We're going to put up a frequently asked question page on the website where you can learn more about the project and kind of things that we've been looking at and tracking with that large scale build. So more information will be available there. Anything in the chat there for construction related questions?
Hey, Pablo.
Julia has a great, go ahead, Cindy.
Oh, I just have a question. We have a few neighborhood kids that walk to school, and they cross at 80th, and when the construction changed, we had them just go straight down 80th and come in that way. I assume that's okay.
Yeah, that's great. Very much encouraged. And I would encourage that after school too.
Yes, we changed it down.
Go down to the crosswalk, and that's the safest place. I get worried when I see people trying to dart across 79th and Greenwood. Yep. With the traffic out there. So thank you for spreading the word and keeping people apprised of what we can do to protect our students and our community.
And Julie has a great reminder in the chat as well. Julie just mentioned making sure that we tell other childcare providers and supporters of our families who maybe don't do drop off and pick up all the time, to make sure that they're also clued in, since this will be, it's not just like this week, it's for a while. Yes.
The grandparents and the nannies and people that maybe don't read news views, please make sure they're aware also. Thank you for your participation so far in the accreditation survey. We got a nice boost last night We got from 38% up to 50% of families participating. So that's a good little jump. We're still not quite passing yet. So we'd love to see everyone get out there and take that survey that was just posted there in the chat. That really helps us with our self-study. And it's a way that you can provide feedback to us on our programs and our leadership, our teachers, our community, our faith formation, opportunities here to make your voice heard. And this helps guide us in our strategic planning for the future, and becomes part of a very valuable tool that we need for the self-study process. We met last night as a faculty to start to solidify any updates to our mission statement and our philosophy. All of you had opportunities to participate in the shareholders meeting. And also we went through our school commission and our faculty and our upper level students to gather their feedback also as part of that process. So we hope to have something articulated here probably before we break for Christmas. So we're making good progress on the self-study. Our domain teams, there's 4 domains as part of the self-study process. We'll start meeting more in detail starting next week. Survey should be completed by today is the deadline. And we're not going to close it down till late tonight. So you have plenty of time today to get it done.
What's the percentage goal on that? Is there a percentage goal that
Well, I'll tell you, 6 years ago, we got 92%. And so we're really hoping that we get towards that.
Would it be helpful for grade levels to send out emails? Although
yeah, and we'll put it in the teacher letters today that go home.
Okay,
and over
great.
Yeah. But yeah, anything you can do to spread the word. Thank you. Other thank yous for your positive participation in our endowment. They have a lot of people here on the call this morning who helped create the video, and we're a part of that planning team. Alan, thank you so much for your time. I see Madeline on the call, and she was working there with the team, the endowment team, and also Karen Bombino. She's going to give you an update on where we are with the endowment. And I think you're going to hear some incredible results.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Bombino. I have a 5th grader, 7th grader, and a freshman. I've been at St. John for 10 years, and I'm a huge cheerleader. That's actually one of the questions that on the accreditation. But yeah, we did the endowment, Jonna and Madeline and Alan. It was a great team. It definitely changed from April. I was taking notes about, how many people we were going to have, for dinner and stuff, but it changed obviously because COVID does that. Yeah, it was, I don't even know what to say. So our goal was, I think it's always been kind of $50,000. Like over the past 5 to 10 years, we like, okay, let's try to get that $50,000. That's a great amount to put into the endowment. And somebody asked me the night that Alan launched the video, and I was like, I'm really nervous. I'm like scared at, it's not an event. Usually when you have an event, you have speakers come up and say how amazing St. John is, and, a teacher. And I was like, I just don't know. I mean, the video is amazing. And I know I keep saying that, but Alan did an amazing job and the people who are part of it. But I was like, I just don't know how much we're going to make. And so I'm happy to report that as of yesterday, we're over $70,000. I'm kind of getting goosebumps. Yeah. It's just the generosity of current parents and current families, but also, I mean, I was amazed to see like, there are people who have kids out of college and who have their own kids that are donating and donating pretty good sums. I don't know. It's just amazing. And I think it's a testament to St. John and how amazing we are. And I will say we, because it is all of us. It's a collective. So yeah, $70,000. And actually it might be a little bit more with matching. But I did get that number from the person who puts the stuff together, the spreadsheet together. But so yeah, congrats. I don't know what to say. And Sarah asked a really interesting question. Is this gonna, are you gonna reimagine what the endowment is? And it's an awesome question. And I just don't know. And to be honest, I think this is the highest number we've had so far. And I'm just amazed and so thankful for all of you and all of our families. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But as I told Sarah before the meeting started, next year is our 100th year at St. John's. So 1923 is when we started. And so I don't think if we can, I don't think we want to go virtual next year, just because we want everyone to get together and, you know, young alum and old alum. So maybe in 2 years, but thank you, thank you. And like I said, in, you know, our marketing is that it is passive income that's coming in. So the more we put in, the more we get back. And it's just amazing. And I think this year we're slated to do about between 25 and 30,000 that just comes from the endowment. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully that just continues to increase, especially with a $70,000, you know, addition. So I want to say thank you. If you could please tell your families thank you. I will write something up later today. I'm actually in the kitchen, the school kitchen today. But thank you. And also just, if I can just do one more thing, is just kind of sell the auction. It is April 8th. I'm going to run it for the 4th time and I'm really excited about it. And I hope it's not virtual and I hope it's in person, but COVID may, you know, disrupt those plans as well. But no, we already have 2 sponsors and yeah, so thank you everybody for your generosity. Any questions about the endowment or auction?
Karen, can people still give to the endowment?
Absolutely. We're not going to say no.
Okay. So should
So
people
if-
just reach out to you for that?
Well, the best thing to do is probably go to the website and go to
Okay.
giving. And I think we're still at the top, endowment's still at the top. But
Okay.
yes, you can just do it right there. And if you do want to give a check and you don't want to, you know, you can do that as well. And you can just send it to our website, not our website. It says it on the website, actually, where to send it. So.
Okay. And Alan just put a link in the chat. So that's great.
Thank you, Alan. So, but I mean, I do want to say a huge thank you to Alan. If you haven't seen the video, please do. It's so clever and so informative, but it's also, it's very St. John. And that's what I love about it. Like we tried to get, you know, we got the facts there. We got the, you know, making it fun. And then of course we met our $50,000 goal. So Matt Diefenbach, Ethan Stoll, Johnny Flavin, I think Alan, and who am I missing? Johnny Flavin are going to be doing a performance at the auction. So I don't know what it is, but that's what they're going to be doing.
You forgot one main.
Oh,
Yeah.
who am I forgetting?
Pablo.
Oh my God, what am I thinking?
The lead singer, I think.
This is true. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Paul. So
No
you know,
big promises here on the scene. Don't,
but no, we're super excited. So, but thank you, everybody. You guys are great. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. There
Yeah,
was
no
one
problem.
question,
Yeah.
how the endowment is invested. I
I
think I'm
can-
reading your question correctly, Jessica.
Yeah, I can, the endowment is invested with the Archdiocese. All our Catholic schools endowments are invested with the Archdiocese in a fund called the Mercer Fund. And we get monthly reports, which are distributed to the Finance Council. We can distribute them out to you, but this past year it has been doing very well. We just live in hope for the next year. But what we do is we draw a percentage of the earnings of the endowment. We keep that low. They advise around 4 to 5%, and that goes into our operating budget every year. So the endowment is growing, and as long as it's growing, we're confident, you know, with the and it's growing thanks to all of you. And Karen, thank you for your leadership. You know, so it's monitored by the Finance Council, and there is a team here in the Father, Frank Feeman, who is chair of the Finance Council. Paul and Danny D'Amelio and I sit on a committee that helps to keep that in check.
Thank you, Bernadette.
Mhm.
I want as a viewer of the video, I want to say that I think one thing that was really helpful, which maybe helped people, contributed to people's openness to giving, was clarity around exactly what an endowment is and how it actually works. And I think that the video was laid out in a way that, again, kept it really fun, but people were like, oh, now I get it. And now I understand like how giving matters. And I think that when you have people going to a dinner, you get just this small percentage of captive audience. And so that part was really cool I heard also people talking about like, oh, now I understand what it actually is. And it really expanded the perception, I think, of the significance of it. So good.
And I also think, Sarah, I have to just run, but to say, I mean, you think about the big colleges, universities that have huge endowments in the billions, and it's nice that ours is growing because it really does give back to the school. I mean, and I think Alan did such a great job of, presenting that. So thank you.
Yeah. 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 My orange puffy vest. I don't want to take all the credit, but a few, like probably $30,000 is because Miss Williamson wore my orange puffy vest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll keep that in mind for future years.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Karen. I know you have to
Okay.
run, but thank you
Yep.
so much.
You're welcome. Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye. All right, moving to our next item here as I navigate two screens. Script. We are going to talk about Script. So we this year are working with Script in a little bit of a different way than in the past, and trying to make it really clear and simple for kind of what the giving options are, especially as we look at gifting our teachers over Christmas. So Maggie has been so kind to come here to talk to us about Script and kind of talk to us about what the streamlined process looks like. So Maggie, I'm going to pass it to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah and Alan and Pablo. Thank you for putting together just a quick one sheet to make it really simple for our families to represent this year and to get us what we need to give back to our teachers. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Maggie, and my daughter is in kindergarten this year. I've been with our Script program. Gosh, I feel like maybe this is my third year with Script. So that's a little bit about me. If I haven't met you in person, I'll look forward to doing that sometime soon on campus. I'm around, so you'll see me from time to time. A little bit about the program this year. We are trying to really streamline the way in which it's run. So we're offering two vendors. Specifically, we're going to offer Amazon and Visa gift cards in really specific denominations. So Amazon's available in quantities of, let's see here, 10, 25, and 100. And then Visa is available in denominations of $50, $100, and $250. So really our main request is to round up to whatever that number is. And just to be really specific about what your request is, Pablo did a really great job of outlining one specific example, but just know that any amount is okay. It can be small, it can be large. I just know our teachers are really grateful for the gifts. And that's kind of our spiel this year. Does anyone have questions?
Can you say those amounts again that they're available?
Yeah, so Amazon this year is going to be available in quantities of $10, $25, or rather denominations of $10, $25, and $100. So let's say you want $250. My request would just be, we want two $100 gift cards and two $25 gift cards, or 5 $10 gift cards. So just be really specific with your requests for the teachers or the assistants. And then Visa is available in denominations of $50, $100, and $250.
I might just add, Maggie, parents, I guess one of the reasons we're trying to kind of streamline this is in a lot of cases, we can't hold on to these balances that sit on our Script books. And that's why we've had to kind of go to this avenue of, we need specific denominations. We also are requesting that you actually come and physically pick up the cards and distribute them to the teachers or staff who you'd like to recognize. This allows us to clear those balances also from the Script book, and not have teachers trying to build up a account and then later cash it in. We'd like to get all this out and not have inventory. So that's the process there. And certainly it's up to the class rep on whether you choose to use Script or not, but it's a vehicle that supports the school. And we appreciate all the time Maggie has put in behind the scenes to keep this going.
At a really high level, if you're not aware of what Script does, it essentially gives a rebate back to the school. And so it's another way that our families can contribute. It's a really easy probably the easiest way to contribute to what we do from a fundraising perspective. So if you buy a gift card at face value of $100, the company or brand will give a certain percent back to the school. So you'll still get your gift card for $100, and the school gets a little bit of a boost or a bump. There are some deadlines that Alan has outlined here and Pablo have outlined here in this post. So the deadline to get your request in is Wednesday the 8th, which is this coming Wednesday. So it's a really quick turnaround time. The goal is to get these distributed to you back on the 13th so that there's time to get them to the teachers before winter break, which happens, I believe, on the 15th. So it is a fast turnaround time. I'm really grateful to you getting me those requests as soon as possible, just so I can coordinate the ordering details on the back ends.
And just quick question, do the cards get picked up in the parish office?
Yes,
That's where
thank you so much.
We
Chris.
we drop the check off there and we pick them up there. Is that correct?
Correct.
And for any PA reps or room parents on here, I will be getting in touch with the whole hospitality team in case anybody didn't make it to this meeting. I'll send out an email with this link and make sure you see if anybody has any questions.
Thank you so much, Chris. Hey, Maggie, our deadline for the PA to order Christmas script gifts is 12/8, but am I correct in saying that individual buyers of script, we've missed that deadline in a way that typically you would want that order in for them by December 1st?
Yeah, if for some reason we start seeing other requests come in from families, we'll probably realistically make 2 separate orders this season. And so I would say if you have an individual request that you're hoping to get before the holiday season, if you could get it into me or your families can get it into me as soon as possible, that would be great. Traditionally, script fulfills on a monthly basis and it fulfills on the first Friday of each month. So today would actually be the first Friday of each month. It also works best for families if you put in some sort of a standing order on a monthly basis. So this is kind of automated in terms of its fulfillment, and it makes things a whole lot easier when we go to order just prior to that first Friday of each month. Traditionally, in past, we've delivered to homerooms each Friday morning of the first Friday of each month. Last year and this year, we've continued to drop off in the parish office for families to pick up there.
Cool. Yeah, it was news to a lot of us, I think, that Script was open for business again just last month. And it's wonderful. Before the pandemic, we were getting a monthly for Fred Meyer, and it was super helpful. So I guess if you're somebody who's interested in individual Script purchases for your family, it's great if you've got a standing order and that you try to honor those on the 1st of the month. And
the first Friday of each month, yeah.
And those orders are all done through email now, correct?
Correct. So you'll just want to send me an order request to the Script email, and which is listed right there on that page, and we'll get your request going. The next fulfillment will be the beginning of the year, so 2022.
Cool. So then for Chris and her team, the main things are that instead of ordering virtual money for virtual accounts now for teachers and staff, we're ordering hard cards for either Amazon or Visa in specific denominations. And they're different depending on whether you go with Amazon or Visa. And this is all on the PA post that I just put in chat. And Chris will also be in contact with the hospitality team. And if you have any questions, there's St. John Script at stjohnschool.org. For Maggie.
I have a question. So my understanding from the information that came out was that we had the options of Visa or Amazon, but Paul just listed a bunch of other stores in here. Can you clarify?
Yeah, thank you. So just to keep it really easy for our teachers this year, we're just doing Visa and Amazon. If you're wanting some sort of a monthly Script repeating request, We do have additional vendors that participate, and traditionally, like, they're local vendors. So it's Fred Meyer. So vendors that might not be available on the larger Shop with Script website, fundraising website. And that would be Fred Meyer, Ken's Market, Diva Espresso. And then we always keep in stock Amazon, Visa, and Safeway. So those are really the vendors that we've honed in on participants. And the reason for that is just like we're trying to reduce our liabilities with live inventory, physical inventory. So we find that those vendors traditionally have moved a lot faster versus keeping one-off Claire's gift cards, Cold Stone, Creamery gift cards, just really tiny brands.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a question here about the Visa gift cards. So typically if you buy a Visa gift card in a store, there's a $6 like surcharge when you buy it. So $100 gift card is $106. How does that work with Script?
Bypasses. So there's no additional fee associated with kind of I guess a registration or I don't know what you would call it, but to turn it on, like you owe a little extra to validate it, I guess, or activate it. No activation fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question. Thank you, Meg. Any other questions?
But there is a larger shipping fee associated with ordering. So that's why we try to order in bulk, just to reduce our to gain more profit and reduce that expense.
Thank you. Alan would like you to work on some Tesla Script. So just let us know when that's ready.
Yeah, I work for Tesla. This is not a fake background. So if anyone needs a Tesla, you come to me.
We just bring our Visa gift cards, our Script.
Yeah, just bring the Visa gift cards. Yeah, good luck paying with that. You'll probably be flagged for fraud.
Any other questions on Script before we move on, or how to use it specifically for gift giving for teachers? Okay. Thank you so much, Maggie. That was super helpful. I'm like learning about Script this year, and it feels a little bit like a foreign language to me. So the explanations are much appreciated. I know I'm not the only parent who, when I get news views, I'm like, there's certain things I can dig into. And then there's other things where I'm like, do I need to know about that right now? I don't know. And so I'm learning about Script this year for the first time and really digging in. And it's great to learn about.
Well, I'm always happy to support. If I don't immediately reply to an email, I will reply same week. So just give me some time.
Cool. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you for having me today. I'm also going to pop off if there are no other questions.
I think we're good.
Awesome. Have a great day. Happy holidays.
Thanks, you too, Maggie. Bye. Okay, we're going to move on to how we can appreciate our teachers outside of the month of December and over the holidays. Is appreciating them all the time with kind of giving them any of our time that we can so that they can retain as much of their energy as possible for our children. So all that is to say that more lunch volunteers are needed so that teachers can actually have breaks. One of the things that has come up in conversations that Paul and I have had at the administrative level is just the demands on teachers' time over the last 2 years, and their energy has, as for many of us, I'm sure we can relate, the potential for burnout is real high. And so when you coming up on 2 years of not having regular breaks and not having a regular schedule and having children that have higher needs because of the pandemic, and then having your own higher personal needs as a teacher, anything that we can do to create space for our teachers and give them just a moment to like rest, restore, rejuvenate in the course of their day is a huge gift. So Alan will pop the lunch. Oh, he already did the lunch volunteering opportunity. You can go into Sign Up Genius, and you don't need to necessarily sign up for like every Friday or every Wednesday or twice a week. It can be like, I can do one Friday this month or 2 Tuesdays or whatever works for you. Or you could even just put a reminder on your phone to like every Monday or every Friday, look at like the upcoming week. Could I fill any spots? And then just grab, if you can come in once a week or once a month or once a quarter, that's super helpful. So it can be as sporadic as works for your schedule, or if you can be consistent, obviously that's hugely appreciated as well. Julia mentioned that there's still 1 to 2 volunteers needed for today. So thank you, Julia, for that. Feel free to, I'm sure you can go to the Sign Up Genius or just message Julia right here, and I bet she can hook you up. Jessica says that third grade parents just sent another request. So that's something that Paul mentioned in the chat, but thank you so much to the PA reps, or not PA reps, I'm sorry, room parents who are sending out emails weekly. Alan and I get third grade emails because and Alan also gets kindergarten emails. So those are the only grades we can spy on. But we have heard that that communication, as Paul mentioned, has been really great with room parents sending out follow-up information. So pulling those pieces out of news views that are most important and most helpful and supportive of the community on any given week makes such a big difference. Because if you're like me, you get an email and you're like, yeah, I want to do that, but I'll do it in a minute. And then a week later, you're like, oh, I didn't do that yet. And so whether that's the survey or signing up for lunches or anything else. So when we get that information in news views and then room parents reiterate it in the emails that go out with like 1 or 2 calls to action instead of news views, which is a lot of really important content, but sometimes we're scrolling through pretty quickly. We get really good returns on that. And I know that Karen mentioned when we sent out emails at the grade level for the endowment, there was immediate boost to the endowment. When we send out PA requests or lunch requests in those PA emails sent from room parents, we get an immediate boost in those numbers. So those emails, if you feel tentative about more and more email, just know that those emails do have impact and they do really support the community. So thank you so much for the ways that people are being intentional about putting those out regularly and then also what's going in them. That's really helpful. Anything else on lunch volunteers? Does anyone want to add to that or say anything more? I don't know if anyone who's doing lunch volunteering or if Julie, if you want to mention like what it entails, if that would help people understand what they're committing to when they decide to sign up, whether it's once or regularly.
Yeah, I'm happy to chime in here. So for lunch details, we kind of have 2 main sections, whether it's over at the portables or in the main building. So it's nice to have at least 1 person over at the portables. It's nice to have 2 working with the kindergarten class so that Jade Green, the assistant over there, can get a break. Otherwise, if we only have 1, she doesn't get a break during that time. And there's 3 different lunch periods. They're all back to back. It's 20 to 30 minutes each. So if you come, you can work one of those sessions or you can work all 3. It goes really quickly. The more consistent, then the more students get to know you and you get to know the system. And it's also just a breeze. And then we try to match parents up to if they want to be in their kids' classroom, we try to do that. If we have enough volunteers, it's a lot easier to do that. If we don't, then everyone's just hands on deck. And it's helping, the younger kids need a little bit more help if it's opening up their little snack packs or whatnot. And then just kind of moving from one to the next event. So of getting their lunches and getting them settled. And then when they're done, getting it all cleaned up so that the next class can roll in. So what they're doing is they're dividing into different classrooms. So say first graders are eating in the second grade classroom. We just want to make sure that when the second graders come back, that their room is clean. So it's really not hard. And I would say that it has a greater impact on the teachers than it is hard. So it's a great way to get in the class. It's nice to see the kids and get to know more of, I've had some volunteers show up and said, I've never even seen the upstairs of the main building. And so it's a great way to kind of get to know your way around the school as well. So it's easy. John is either there or I am there, and Pablo's always helping out. People are always running around. So if you're not really sure what to do, the teachers also know what to do and they have a new set of volunteers. So it'll always be guided. It's not hard. So I recommend it to everyone. At least try it once and see if you like it and whether that could be a thing for you or not. So, and like I said, and you have said as well, it doesn't need to be like every Thursday you have to commit an hour and a half. I mean, sometimes like today, if we had 2 more people to come help out, it will make for a great Friday for the teachers. And it's not that hard and we're happy to show you how to do things. So it's also sometimes just having a body present for the older kids, or just an adult around to make sure that they're doing what they need to do. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Julia. And it's my understanding that are the children, for parents who are like, am I going to have to be setting a whole bunch of rules and like entertaining children? It's my understanding that the children aren't supposed to be talking. So there's like shows and podcasts and there's things happening to kind of keep them quiet.
Yeah, so there's one kindergarten class, if you're open to it, that they don't have a video or a podcast or anything. And so I'll often go in there and we either read stories, the teachers will provide books. I've had other parents that bring in books that are their favorite or that their kid has helped pick out. I've done games. I mean, you guys know what I did yesterday. It was actually I'll share it with everyone. So in the kindergarten class, the kids had to sit there quietly and they counted the laps that I could walk in front of them while they were eating lunch. You guys, it was, I don't know. It just came to me and it was the best.
Nobody see, like you keep getting your steps.
And I'm getting my steps and they're like, what comes after it? You know, and I have to do it all silently. So they're counting and they're showing me all the different ways they could hold 8 on their hands. And it was so entertaining. And I'll tell you, if you're, working during the day, it's such a great break. I mean, sitting there watching kindergartners figure out how many different ways they can put 8 on their fingers is a great break to your day. So, and then
are you ready for a career change?
I know.
Oh, and then the middle schoolers, they all know the rules. And so often with, middle schoolers, it's just having an adult there so they know that they know what to do. And it's they just need to know there's eyes on them and they're great. So, and a lot of times it's that they're not supposed to talk when they have their masks off and eating. And so often with the older ones, they'll eat and it doesn't take them the whole time and they'll finish and then they'll play hangman, and so you can watch them play hangman, you can join in, and they're very creative on how to fill their time as well. And then I love it. I've got a 6th grade group in the portables that when they get to choose videos, they choose Curious George, and it's so funny. They're way quieter watching Curious George than they are watching like Wild Kratts or something else. So it's fun. It's such a great group of kids, and I love getting to be more involved in the school this way. So.
Thank you so much, Julia. Oh my gosh, you are such a great commercial for lunch, the lunch program. I love it. Okay, so now we all want to go volunteer at lunch. I want to get my steps in. Yes, and Kira also mentioned that the teachers are just so supportive, and it's easy and goes quick. So yes, so great. All right, appreciation projects. We want to talk about appreciation. So Chris, I think were you gonna chat here? And if you weren't, that's totally fine. I just want to check in if there's anything you wanted to add from aside from what you've already said about checking in for holiday stuff and script.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If it's 6th grade has the all staff for this month, so I don't know if Selena or Candace are on and want to give an update about that. And 5th grade, so I'm in charge for January. But yeah, I think things are moving along smoothly. I know the teachers appreciate anything that the classes have been doing to show their appreciation. Yeah, script is a change. So like I said, I will touch base with the whole hospitality team today, especially with the deadline coming up pretty quick with this turnover with the changes. But other than that, I don't really have an update unless there's questions.
Hey, Selena and Candace aren't on, but 6th grade is doing coffee and donut boxes on the 14th, I believe.
Great.
I believe it is the 14th.
14.
Yep.
Noted. Thank you, Cindy. That's awesome. That'll be really fun for the teachers. Any questions for hospitality on Christmas gift giving, holiday gift giving, dividing up gifts among teachers, support staff, anything that at the grade level that people need have questions on, or does everyone feel pretty confident with what they're doing at each grade level? Thank you, Bernadette, for being here. We appreciate you too. Everyone's good. Chris is way to go, Chris. I'm going to credit Chris. Everyone knows what they're doing for holidays. I love it. So good. So along the lines of the holidays, the Christmas program, sadly, we can't do an in-person Christmas program. So for those of us who've had that experience, it's magical. It's magic and its hilarity and its sweetness. Hopefully that will be in person next year. And Also magical and sweet and a little bit of hilarity is the videos that went out last year. The music teachers did a phenomenal job of creating videos in lieu of our traditional Christmas program. And so they're doing that again this year. So there will be Christmas programs coming out via video at different grade levels. So you can keep an eye out for that. They're so incredibly sweet. Our music teachers are so clever and creative. So that will be coming. But if you have seen anywhere that the Christmas program was on, it was on the original calendar for at the beginning of the school year. So if you're like me in August, you put it on your calendar and you're like, picking out what Christmas sweater you're going to wear, you can just put that Christmas sweater back or put it on to watch your video. So that's, that'll be coming in December, those video links. And we're going to move to Catholic School Week, which when Alan said this should be an agenda item, I was like, why? That's months away, Alan. We do not need to talk about that yet. But apparently it's not that far away. So Catholic Schools Week starts on January 30th. It's January 30th to Friday the 4th, whatever that Friday is of that week. And so traditionally there's school events and gatherings in the cafeteria and the gym and doing different things to just support Catholic School Week and all sorts of fun events. And so again, because of COVID, we can't do some of those traditional things. We will do the one in-person event will be the open house on January 30th. So there's always a mass before that. And then there's the open house. And so that's often a time when prospective families are coming in and checking out the school. So some of you may have done that before joining the community. And thank you, Alan, for putting, Alan just put the dates in there. Over the course of that week, we have our days are always themed. So there's a day where we have like appreciation of the community and we have appreciation of Native backgrounds and appreciation of our teachers. And so one of the things we wanted to talk about on this call, because we do want to get it dialed in and so that it can be noted on the calendar, is what do we want to do with Spirit Week this year? What do we want to do with Catholic Schools Week, which is also Spirit Week? And are there things that we want to do in terms of, do we want to keep the days themed the same way they have been historically? And is there anything extra that we want to do in lieu of the live events, since we can't do that? And so, Alan, I'm sorry, not Alan, Aaliyah, I see your note about the Christmas program.
Yeah, sorry, I was typing before you switch
Go
topics.
Go ahead with this, because otherwise I'll forget to come back and then we'll go back.
Yeah, so Miss Akalaki, I don't know if she does, but I was thinking, gosh, I'd love to get in there and see what Ava is doing in the second grade program. Like, how can I volunteer? And she was thrilled. She said, she'd love help just organizing the kiddos and keeping them, in line. And so it might be great. And I could even email her, or room parents could email her to see if she needs help doing the same thing with other classes next week.
Oh, that's great. Yes. If there's parents who want to go in and help with that, I'm sure that would be appreciated. And
so
also really
I can
fun.
just take the lead on that, and I'll email her and say, just ask her, and then I can report back, and then maybe room parents can put out a note for people to sign up.
Okay. That sounds great.
All right.
And if you are listening and you're like, yes, I want to do that, just go ahead and reach out to Aaliyah. And
sounds good. Okay. Thanks.
It's all rolling.
And
Thank you
it's
so much.
it's only kindergarten through 5th grade, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe, what Pablo said before the call started was that kindergarten through 4th grade, there's like already sort of a general plan, and 5th grade already has their own thing kind of plan, but it's still evolving, as I understand.
He did not mention middle school, and I don't know the history of the Christmas program in middle school. Does anyone else want to chime in on that?
I think they do the musical. I think that's
their thing instead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know, because I'm new to middle school this year. So.
Okay.
There's not typically a Christmas
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
thing with middle school.
Thank you. I love that I get to learn all these new things every meeting. I'm like, oh, I don't know that yet. Okay. So back to Catholic Schools Week. Yes. And Grace said preschool is also working on videos. Yes. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to see these videos. They're so cute. So back to Catholic School Week and Spirit Week. And Any thoughts? I'm sure you were all brainstorming in the last 3 minutes while we were also talking about Christmas stuff, brainstorming ideas for our Catholic School Week. Thank you, Alan, for pulling this up. So Monday is typically celebration of our community and vocations. Oftentimes we each at the grade level or within individual classes, a parent from the class will go in and talk about their vocation. So if that's something you'd be interested in doing, that's a time when we can do that. Tuesday is typically a talent. And last year we did this via video. Kids could submit their talents on video. I'm trying to remember, Vinny submitted something. I don't remember what it was now, but I remember it was like 20 minutes long. And I was like, nobody wants 20 minutes of this talent, but here you go. Like whoever wants to edit this down.
What did they do before COVID? Because hopefully they're all in, should all be still in school. So what did they do for talent? I can't even remember.
Does anyone else want to speak to that? Because we were new to the school at that point prior to COVID. Was there a school talent show?
No.
Talent was new last year.
Oh, it was?
Oh,
Yeah.
what did Tuesday used to be?
I was trying to remember.
I know, I can't remember.
Was that Indigenous Peoples Celebration?
I think it was. Because remember, Alan, we pulled up an older version of the schedule and we had
Let me look for that one.
It was celebrating your native culture.
Your culture, yeah.
It was yes.
So you could wear
I don't
your
know if that was
traditional
specifically.
dress.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, just so like you could wear your traditional dress from your heritage.
Yeah.
So maybe that one was the one that they replaced with the talent.
Yeah.
Wednesdays, Celebrate All Faiths. Students have a lesson on kindness taught by the 8th graders via Zoom. Thursdays, staff appreciation, making thank you cards for the maintenance staff. And then Friday, Purple and Gold Day. Students wear St. John colors and accessories. Which day was the dress like a teacher? So is staff appreciation Thursday? Is that the same as teacher appreciation? And that also historically was like dress like a teacher day. Is that not did that go
correct.
away?
I think they did that last year, didn't they? The last few years has been dressed like a teacher.
Okay,
on
maybe
teacher
it's just not
appreciation.
included in this copy.
Could be.
So any thoughts on the existing, what we have here as a framework, and anything you'd like to see added, evolved, shifted?
So Talent Tuesday, that was something that they did because you could send in videos, not necessarily in person. So is that something that would probably change this year since they're in person, or are they going to be able to show their talents in class? Or
And for the older kids, I just wonder, like having a middle schooler,
yeah,
they're less
likely to participate.
Yes.
Less talented.
I know mine in 5th grade didn't want to participate. So
mine didn't last year either.
So it kind of seems like half the school, the younger kids would love to do that. The older kids, not as much.
Well, I guess just so that we keep our eye on the prize here, it's a strange in between place that we'll probably be at the end of January, right? Because we for sure won't be able to host a big gym assembly. We won't be able, the PA, we used to do a big end of the week, Spirit Week, like Spirit Day in the cafeteria, so that all the kids coming through, like we had a nice meal set up for them, and it was kind of raucous. Pablo would host a really fun assembly, like mini assembly in the cafeteria before they all went up to the gym and like really got rowdy. So this was just, I guess this was just our way of putting it out there. Like maybe there's stuff that we can do in this in-between phase that still feels celebratory, despite the fact that we can't host these assemblies. and maybe it just needs time to sort of percolate. But since it's a lot earlier this year, we only get one more meeting before, we're celebrating it. Yeah,
So,
just stuff to think
Alan,
about.
can I ask a question? Typically, PA didn't set the dates, like that came from the
Correct.
staff. So
Absolutely.
are you just trying to think of something we could do because we can't do the spirit lunch? Like just provide them some ideas for every day or for one day? Kind of what
I
are you
think-
asking?
Yeah.
in this
So
case?
all of the above. And speaking, I wish Pablo was still here for this. And speaking to Pablo about it, they just aren't very deep into considering what that's going to look like yet. And
Okay.
they were interested in finding out if PA had any creative ideas to
Okay.
make it, because last year, I think that the virtual element of it was still, wonderful. I think that seeing a bunch of kids with masks on with a giant like paper beard taped onto the mask was hilarious, like people use the opportunity. So I don't know.
Got it.
I think absolutely. I totally agree. I just think, I mean, hopefully, I don't think that they're not going to be, I mean, perhaps there is that, depending on what the Omicron does, that they won't be in school, but, hopefully, we can do, I don't know. I think it was great last year being virtual. I totally agree. My only feedback was on just making sure that, the older kids, I don't know, it's hard.
Totally. And I also think that there's stress to thinking that, it might be virtual again, because that would kill me.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that.
Okay, good. Yeah. I don't even want to consider it either.
Yeah, we're not, that is not part of the agenda. We're not. I'm curious for the Friday piece, if there is a way to do something on the playground at the end of the day, like right before dismissal. If we have like all the kids line up, the whole school lines up on the playground before school, right? So if that's okay from a COVID standpoint, can we do something on the playground? And I mean, I don't know what Paul and Bernadette would say about having that many kids on the playground at once for an extent for 15, 20 minutes, but we kind of already do that in the morning. So I'm assuming it's okay. Could we do something where it's like a rain or shine, like we're on the playground and they do, I don't know what it is, but doing a couple things on the playground as a community where it could be staying in one place, but I don't know whatever happened to the assembly, but it could kind of be something that maybe some elements of that assembly could just be brought to the playground.
Didn't they used to do like a dance competition? I think that was
That was part of the
right.
gym
So they could
assembly.
do that outside if it's not raining or snowing.
Well,
mean,
if we plan this for outside, it will for sure snow like 4 inches.
I know.
Yeah, but the kids would love that.
Right. Yes. I mean, I
They-
kind of think my thought is if we were going to do something outside that we just like publicize it as like, this is a rain or shine thing. And it's going to be the last thing before kids leave. So if they leave and they're soaking wet, they go home soaking wet. That's my take on it. So that it's low stress to the teachers to have to manage that. If it's disgusting out. Go ahead, Caro.
Oh, does anyone know what other Catholic schools are doing? Like everyone does this, right? Has anyone heard of any other fun things? Like what do other schools
It's a great
do?
idea, Kara.
I know the family across the street from me goes to St. Joe's. I could ask what they do, but that's the only people I know that go to other Catholic schools.
I can find out
Yeah.
about Christ the King and St. Catherine's. I have connections there.
Just to get ideas.
Yeah. St. Joe's, I would love to know what St. Joe's did. I went to St. Joe's. So.
I'll ask.
What are they
ask.
doing? What are they up to now?
Hey, so I just wanted to, I just put in the chat, I wanted to know if there were any other 8th grade parents, because the Spirit Week, that gym session is huge for the 8th graders because that's when they get to play sports against the teachers. It's a really good way to say goodbye. So I'd love to be able to, kind of brainstorm with another parent in 8th grade to see what their thoughts are, either in the gym, even if it's only 8th grade, again, or because it used to be combined with the dance, and I think the dance was for everybody, because there were performances by the little kids, but then the older grades used to be able to do, I think, kind of their own thing sporadically, just get up and start dancing, but maybe not. But the gym part is like huge for them. So I'd love to be able to work with somebody and I can take charge of that and then present it to you guys. But again, I don't know if there's anybody else from 8th grade.
Traditionally, that would
But I
be
gotta run.
oh, it's-
So I'm saying bye, but Carl, if you need a group, I'm happy to be on it, but I have to. leave.
Okay, thank you. I will reach out. I will.
Okay.
Carl, I think a lot of parents will be super interested in that one. Super familiar names to me, at least, like Liz Overland and Dee, Megan McCarthy, Shan Flavin. Ton of parents really want to get that going, especially with the trip stuff, and maybe that can all be discussed at some point. And that's usually like a rec day, isn't it? Isn't that like a dedicated rec day for the 8th graders?
It is. It's a pretty big deal. And
Yeah.
actually, I'm thinking about like the DC trip, which is kind
Yep.
of off now.
Mhm.
And then there's a bunch of things that used to happen, like 8th grade kids would get something delivered to them every month. And none of that has happened. I don't think there's been anybody that has stepped up to do it because, there's such intensity around getting into high schools, and it just seems like there's so much pressure. But maybe I'll try to form a little bit of a group, figure some of that stuff out. But that's good to know that there's another person on the call that's willing to help. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, just because we are at 9:43 right now, maybe like the biggest thing about Spirit Week is just to put it in your minds so that when January comes around, it's not like, all of a sudden we've got so much stuff to do to prepare for whatever. So just, at the very least, when that schedule is released, maybe we'll just on the grade level, just make those days a little bit bigger, like maybe that teacher appreciation day is just a little bit more appreciative. I don't know.
Sounds good. And Alan and I will continue to be in conversation with Paul and Bernadette about this so that we can get a few more details in terms of what would be what's permissible and what sounds good to them. So we have last thing here, checking in on any vacant roles at grade levels. Alan, do you want to address that?
Sure. We've got this PA Sign Up Genius export file, right? So I've got a bunch of email addresses for everybody for almost every position. And since we're at the midway point, especially as we're going to slowly gear up for the auction here, I just want to make sure that we've got a point of contact for some of these roles. I reached out to some individual grades, and I'll do it again. And you know what? I'm not going to ask each individual grade here while we're sitting here right now. But if you know for a fact that like there were some latecomers to PA to say fill in a room parent role, or no, all the room parent roles are filled here. It's mainly these, these random auction liaison roles that just I think have slowly filled in over the course of the beginning of the year. So if you are familiar with those new names, please email us and we will make sure that they're added to our fun little email lists. I think that's really it.
Cool. Thank you, Alan. And then last thing I had that's not on the agenda, but I just wanted to thank folks for coming to our speaker series events so far. We've had really good attendance. That's been really fantastic. We are looking at who we're going to bring in the new year. At the top of that list is a couple people with who speak specifically and work with parents around social justice and social justice parenting. And then also I have a contact who works with families and children around neurodiversity. And so looking at just how we can be, with the goal of all speakers kind of being like, how can we be bringing in people that are going to create space for us to make sure all of our families are as supported as possible, and also make sure that we're supporting families, but also that we are being aware of all the people that exist in our community, and that we can be good citizens, that we can be empowered disciples, as it says on the Soaring Eagle cards, empowered disciples in terms of how we're recognizing all the people in our community and all the people that exist in different ways. And so looking at bringing in speakers that can support that goal. So if you have a topic in mind or a speaker in mind or someone that we've gotten a few emails, always feel free to send those to Alan or I, and we can look into that. And then I have a decent database as well, but we're definitely open to feedback, and we'll be getting some more information out on that in the new year. I think that's it. Thank you all for being here. I see there's some kind of continued conversation in the chat around middle school. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you bringing that up, Caro, and spearheading that. And then Alan, I'm just noting this Meg's comment at the very bottom. So we'll double check that for sure. I think we're all good. Anyone have any dire needs before we say goodbye?
Oh, just
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just had one last question.
Yeah.
So in the past, there was a guest speaker that talked about phone use and technology, and it seemed like only like the middle schoolers were interested, and then, you know, a lot of people didn't participate. But as things change and years change, and then suddenly your kid has a phone, it suddenly becomes something really important. And I know that it would be nice to be available every year, because it's going to be a new thing for every year. Like it doesn't matter, but then suddenly it really matters. I was wondering if you guys maybe had the information for that person, or if it was something that could be introduced every year on a smaller scale, or anything like that. I know I'm bringing it up for the first time.
I can't recall the person's name, but we do have the information for that person just sitting in our email somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And
I'd love to get that.
But we were talking about, you know, that is definitely a topic that we considered for a speaker. And yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
We will add that to the list. Thank you. Thank you, Caro.
And not to be morbid, but I don't know if gun safety is on that list. Just that seems to be a reoccurring thing, and it seems to be a real community topic.
Mm-hmm.
So not to be a super Debbie Downer, but that's one, it feels like it's definitely a community conversation.
That's a really good one that's not on the list. Thank you. I will add that as well. Yeah, I agree. Like, it's the conversation we don't want to have, but probably should be having.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. On that note, sorry. Thanks, Melissa.
hey, you know what? We can segue out of this a little bit easier, because we don't currently have a January meeting scheduled. Do we want to take that first week off, like from the meeting when we come back, and then the following week we'll jump into a Thursday evening? So like we'll come back.
Does that give us time to put stuff into play for Catholic Schools Week if we're not meeting till Thursday the 13th?
I think so. I don't know. Or we could easily just, I mean, you know, I have no life. So yeah, I'm totally cool doing Thursday the 6th. Anyway, the alternating Thursdays and Fridays is still working for everybody. If you guys have any, at least as far as we know, if you have any feedback on that, please let us know. If you have any feedback on taking that first week off when we come back, please let us know. And yeah, we'll see you in January.
Thank you all so much for being here and for your participation. It means a lot, and it helps us a ton.